All right, today we're diving into two really powerful models designed to connect what you learn in the classroom with what you actually do in a career. We're talking about learning factories and industrial colleges. Let's get into it and see how they're shaking up hands-on education.
So, we really have to start with this big question. For years now, we've been hearing about this skills gap, right? This disconnect between what students learn in a typical classroom and what employers really need from day one. So, how do we actually fix that?
Here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll dig into that classroom to career gap. Then we'll meet our two models and see how they stack up against each other. We'll look at some real-world examples, break down the challenges they both face, and then wrap up with what this all means for the future of vocational training.
Okay, so let's set the stage. What's the actual problem that these new models are trying to solve? Why does this gap between school and work even exist?
Well, here's the thing. Everyone agrees that vocational education is absolutely vital for a healthy economy. But sometimes it feels like it's just a step or two behind. Industries are evolving so incredibly fast that school curriculums just can't keep up. And the result? You get graduates who know the theory inside and out, but they might not have the practical, hands-on skills to hit the ground running. And that's exactly where our two models come into play.
So, how do we tackle this? Let's meet two really innovative solutions. They're different in their approach, but they share the exact same goal: to make sure what's learned in school is exactly what's needed in the workplace. On one hand, we've got the learning factory. The best way to think about this is like a flight simulator, but for manufacturing. It's a hyper-realistic production environment built right on campus for students to practice in. Then, on the other hand, you have the industrial college. This one is all about deep, formal partnerships between schools and companies, where they share everything from teachers to tools to resources.
Okay, let's get a little more precise now. Where did these ideas come from? And what officially makes a learning factory or an industrial college an industrial college?
So, a learning factory isn't just any old workshop. For it to be the real deal, it has to check four specific boxes. It needs a real production process, an environment that can change to mimic real-world problems. It has to create an actual physical product, and the entire teaching philosophy has to be built around learning by doing.
And this idea has been around for a while, just getting better and better. It actually kicked off in the US at Penn State back in the 90s. Then in the 2000s, it just exploded across Europe. By the 2010s, it went global with major collaborations, and today it's a full-blown worldwide trend in education.
Now let's pivot to the industrial college. The absolute key difference here is the partnership model. This isn't just a friendly collaboration. It's a totally new kind of institution that is literally co-built and co-managed by the government, schools, and companies. Everybody has skin in the game. This model is a huge deal in China, where it officially became part of the national education strategy back in 2017. The whole point was to forge a much, much deeper connection between what schools were teaching and what local industries desperately needed to grow. Okay, so the theory is one thing, but how does this stuff actually play out in the real world? Let's take a look at some specific examples. Just look at the variety here. In Europe, you have learning factories that work across borders to train students in cutting-edge skills like robotics and AI. In China, there's a factory focused on 5G that actually uses role-playing to teach. And in England, there's a super specialized center that focuses on the entire food manufacturing supply chain from farm to fork. Industrial colleges, on the other hand, are often incredibly targeted to serve very specific local economies. For example, there's a college for rural e-commerce to help businesses in the countryside get online. There's a college of elevator engineering right in the middle of a national hub for that industry. And there's a textile college built to train workers for a massive clothing production region. They're basically custom-built talent pipelines.
Of course, building these amazing programs isn't easy. It's ambitious stuff. And it turns out, both models run into some very similar, very real-world roadblocks.
And when you lay them out, the challenges are almost identical. First up, money. It's not just the huge upfront cost for equipment. It's about finding a sustainable model where companies see a real return on their investment. Then there's staffing. Finding teachers who are both academic experts and seasoned industry pros, so-called dual-qualified teachers, is incredibly difficult. Third, you need real buy-in from companies for the long haul, not just a one-off project. And finally, the curriculum is in a constant battle to stay relevant as industry keeps sprinting forward. So it's no surprise that the road to success is a mirror image of those challenges. The research all points to a clear four-part strategy.
1. Secure funding that's built to last. 2. Invest heavily in training and recruiting teachers who've been in the industry trenches. 3. Build real win-win partnerships with companies. And 4. Create a system that lets you update the curriculum constantly. You really have to tackle all of it together.
All right, let's bring it all home. What's the big picture takeaway from all of this for the future of hands-on learning?
If you remember just a few things, make it these. Learning factories are masters of simulation. They're perfect for building those hard technical skills. Industrial colleges are masters of integration, designed to perfectly serve specific local industries. The bottom line is both of these models work. They make students much more employable, but their success completely depends on solving those big challenges: funding, staffing, and getting genuine, deep partnerships with industry.
And all this leaves us with a final, really important thought. Models like these are a fantastic answer to the skills gap we have today. But as technology and work keep accelerating, the bigger question is always going to be, as the very nature of work continues to change, how does the nature of learning change right along with it?